Okay, so today I want to try and tackle, there's loads of holes in the car, random little holes all over the place, and they kind of bug me. And I've been putting it off for a while, but I'm just going to grab the MIG welder out and just plug them up basically. So I've just offered up and spot welded the top bracket and the little tab that I'm going to drill and put a riv nut up into the top of the slam panel, and then I've marked round the plate that I've got to weld in, so I'll be taking out the pedal box and then straightening up the bulkhead as best I can and then welding in that strengthening plate. So I've just got to weld this plate on up in there. Okay, so that's the plate welded into the bulkhead, and I've also started filling in all of the holes and stuff that I don't need, where I had all the brake lines mounted on the inside of the engine bay. I think those holes were where I had the old servo. A little top tip, if you're welding holes in on sheet metal work, if you put a bit of copper behind it, that helps from the weld from splattering out the back. Okay, so mounting the seats. I think this is roughly where I want the seats to sit. You've got quite a lot of movement on these rails that come with them. I think I'm going to do some kind of platform that sits over, but then triangulates down, and I can weld it over the top and down the front of this sort of folded section that runs through the car. But do it at 3mm should be strong enough. The back is going to need a little bit of jiggery pokery. I'm going to have to do some kind of tower that picks up off the bottom of the floor. I'll probably have to do like a strengthening plate. I'm going to end up cutting all this crap out because I did this when I was probably 10, 12 years ago. And I'll be honest, it was the early days of my my welding, and I'm not 100% sure how secure that all is. So I'd like to sort of chop and grind and cut all that out and freshen that all up. But yeah, that's the plan. I'm just going to use a bit of cardboard, the old CAD design, set up a cardboard template, and then I can get that all cut out of 3mm mild steel. Job done, simple as that. Okay, so a couple of things I've been working on. I've managed to make some shims for the back stub axles by basically cutting various different pieces of 0.5 stainless steel and bonding them together, and that gives me a 1.5 degree angle once that's bolted behind the stub axle back plate on the axle that I've made. So I'm going to finish these off, just smooth them out a bit and give them just a lick of black paint, and then I'll try bolting those on and see where we're at with the laser gauge. I've also been setting some stuff up on the computer, so I've got some paper printed 1-to-1 templates to try out before I get them cut in metal. The first one is for up here, and that's going to go and basically weld on, covering up the old hole where the gear stick used to stick through, because I've got the cable shift on the ST170. I've got my big tower and my gear sticks can actually be up inside the car, so I can cover all that up. And I'm going to crack the old bead roller out and put some funky strengthening bits in it. I'm also going to weld over the old handbrake mounting point, and then put in this new plate which will hold the big hydraulic handbrake that I've got there. And the other ones I've been working on are the mounts for the seats. Because I've got to stick them forward, I've got to do something along the lines of that, but in steel. This is my crazy machined tank that Carlo, the engineer, machinist extraordinaire, has done for me. So he's just turned down this alley tube with some rib details, look like bead rolls, and then I've got a top cut which should hopefully fit like that, and then I bought this really nice CNC top cap, and Zach's got the impossible task of welding it all up without distorting it and making it look cool. And I've got the bottom plate as well with the lugs where I'm going to mount it into the boot floor. It's gonna look killer. I've also taken the old 5-speed IB5 gearbox out. I managed to swing the engine up, pop the gearbox off, take the flywheel and clutch off, and then lift He-Man lifted the gearbox out by myself. Probably should have filmed it because I literally almost pooed myself trying to do it. But yeah, that's now out. So that's made space for throwing the new clutch that I've got and the big paddle clutch and the 6-speed gearbox on. So yeah, making some good progress. Obviously need to just grind back some of these welds on the bulkhead, and then I'm just going to give it a quick tosh in of paint, and then I can start throwing the gearbox back in and sorting out the wiring loom. So my crazy pedal box bracket has all been powder coated. I've also done the steering shroud piece and a couple of other brackets, so I'm just going to offer up in the car, see where all this sits and make sure I'm 100% happy with it. I've still got to play around with the throttle pedal stop and the crazy top piece. I did start spot welding it on, but then I realised if I spot weld that on, then I can't actually get the pedal in between the two pieces of the bracket, so I think I'm going to have to do that as a drilled and tapped bolted on part. And then I also think where I've cut the back, I'm going to have another one of those welded onto the top with a bolt for a return stop, which is annoying because obviously I've just had it all powder coated, but nothing a little bit of black rattle can can't hide. Top bracket in, just need to find 3 more bolts for that, and the top of the steering shroud there hooks in, locates on. Once that's all tight underneath the steering column, don't think that's going to go anywhere. As I said, I just need to sort out this throttle cable top piece. It's going to go somewhere around there. Line up with the hole in the bulkhead. Pretty pleased with that though. Okay, so Martin from the Netherlands, a friend of ours, he was on the forums years ago, xr2.com. He had a wicked blue, kind of Bird Cup-esque Euro style Mark 1 Fiesta that he was building, did loads of crazy modifications on it and stuff. Smooth bay, all the works. Big arches like mine, big front Polo, I think it's Mark 1 Polo front splitter on it, and long story short, he ended up breaking the car. He sold a lot of bits off. Messaged him not long back and said, have you got any bits left over? And he basically said yes, and I've now bought his old race engine off him, and he brought over a load of boxes of crazy Mark 1 Fiesta bits for me as well. So I'll just run through some of the stuff he's dropped off. So I've got new indicators, thermostat housing. He's got some crazy wiring harness which I'm going to make use of, with a big fat NATO connector, brand new switch gear, got engine mounts, gaskets, the works. Got a column, speedo in there. This is his custom wiring harness, all the relays and stuff. Some more gaskets down the bottom. This is the race engine, SD170 engine, all forged, all steel. It's got a knife edged crank in it, all OEM, oil pump, water pump. It's got fancy billet pulleys from the States, Ike Engineering pulleys and an idler, custom made idler, Central Florida Motorsport breather on it, cat cams. I think it's an ALD ported head, cat cam pulleys. It's got VVT delete on it. Let's have a quick look at these ports. I haven't actually opened this up yet. Bit of a dilemma. Zach rightly said this type of engine in my Fiesta would be perfect. It's built for 250 horsepower, so a set of big throttle bodies on it, big tubular manifold on it. It'll be punchy, reliable, simple, but obviously I've gone so far with all the turbo stuff. I think I need to finish that, get that all in, get that all working, and I think I'm just going to save this for a rainy day. Whether it goes in the Fiesta or something else, I don't know, but couldn't sort of let it sit there, kind of had to have it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then what else have I got? Got a crazy tapered inlet manifold for 45s for throttle bodies, brand new hubs, door handles, bits of drive shaft, because he was running a 6-speed in his as well. He was the first person to put an SD170 6-speed in his Mark 1 Fiesta. So yeah, shame obviously that he sacked in his project, but he had his fun out of it, and obviously if I benefit from having some of his bits, as I said, if I ever end up putting that engine in the Fiesta, if it's front wheel drive it would be a wicked track toy, if it's rear wheel drive it would be a great donut machine. But yeah. Oh, he also gave me this as well, a little tool rest that clips onto a Z-Tech head, so that's quite handy, sort of trackside fiddling and tinkering. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. As always, check out the latest Classic Ford magazine, because I'm still doing write-ups on the Fiesta and the Sierra. Check out obviously the Cartel site. We've got lots of FPE merchandise branded up. We've got some caps and stuff coming into stock soon, stickers, and obviously the coil on plug plates and other bits and bobs will be added in the next sort of week or so. Yeah, until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Take it easy.